Welcome to another edition of the Morning After Week 9 Election Day edition. Here with you in the CFFL headquarters. Good show today. We got the Morning After, of course, looking at the week that was, going deep, looking at trade possibilities for each team, and also the new rankings. So we'll get into the week that was. First of all, taking a look at the team of the year so far. The Price is Right takes down the Tice's 96.5 to 48. Tice's are on a bit of a skid right now as they fall to 3-6. San Diego defense, Mike Evans, Mike Thomas, and Melvin Gordon combined for 71.5 points to pace the team Price is Right to their 8-1 record, currently on pace to tie the record for most points per week, and right now is 4 wins away from setting the new wins in a season mark. In Rogers We Trust, that's backwards, fell to the Black Dingoes 81.5 to 68.5. In Rogers We Trust was led by Phillip Rivers, 13.5. Dak Prescott, the highest paid free agent in CFFL history, that'll be a record that lasts a long time, $97 on the bid. Led his team with 17.5 points. Garbage Men took down the Gargoyles, 75.5 to 56. Both teams are at 4-5. Jay Ajayi with 13 points to lead the Garbage Men over the Gargoyles, who were led by Matt Ryan's 23.5 points. The rest of the team really struggled, but Matt Ryan did have a good week. The Bucks take down the Bruisers, two teams that are now also 4-5. Jameis Winston, 17.5 points, paces the Bucks. Matt Bryant had 16 points for the Bruisers in a losing effort. In a rivalry game, the Horn Dogs take down the Cardinals in a very high-scoring game, 96 to 81.5. Latavius Murray's 3 touchdowns on Sunday night gave the Horn Dogs the win. Him was 25 points. Ingram and Breeze had 40 points combined for the Cardinals as they fall to 5-4. And finally this week we saw the Little Big Men again fall to 3-6. They had a chance to move up to stay in playoff contention. That'll be quite difficult, but still possible, I guess. 53.5 to 44.5. Jimmy Graham saved the Little Big Men with 18 points, almost pulling out the victory on Monday night. But Frank Gore's 15.5 points carry the Badgers to the win. Player of the week, as mentioned, Latavius Murray. 3 touchdowns, 113 rushing yards, 13 yards receiving, so 25 points for him in a big week for the Horn Dogs as they move to 5-4. Top free agent target. Sorry about your fantasy teams. Top free agent target. Capri Bibbs, 69 receiving yards and a touchdown. It is really getting bare out there. Very, very, very thin. May have some value. Realistically, probably not, but shot in the dark ladder ticket probably for someone this week. Really no walk of shame this week, so we will skip that. We will jump right into the rankings. We have a new number 2 this week in the rankings. Team Price is Right, of course, is number 1. Horn Dogs move into number 2 after the last ranking, moving up from 7. In Rogers We Trust falls to number 3. The Cardinals and the Black Dingoes are tied at number 4. Garbage Men sitting at number 6, and then the Badgers outside the playoffs of the rankings at number 7. Now we'll get into the Going Deep segment on trade possibilities for each team, so I will try to be quick on this one. First of all, we will look at the one division there with the Gargoyles. Needs probably another running back. Ty Montgomery, Tevin Coleman, Terrence West, probably be better served as flexes. He does have some depth there, guys who are okay, but probably could use an upgrade there, especially since Lamar Miller has not dominated like everyone expected this year. Little Big Men, they need a running back. Any running back will do. Jaquiz Rogers was good. He's now hurt in a walking boot. Last we heard, Jerick McKinnon, Derrick Henry, hurt. Might be out a couple weeks. The one thing he does have is wide receiver depth. Gronk, Graham, Doug Baldwin, Doyle. He's got some possibilities there at receiver. Just not anybody really not a whole lot to trade. If he trades that, then running receiver becomes a problem. Might be a long year for the Little Big Men, but still could probably play spoiler down the road. Next up, we have Bernie's Bruisers. They probably need a wide receiver 1. I'm sorry the font kind of blends in with the background there. Allen Robinson, Demaryius Thomas, Deshaun Jackson are all solid, 2s. Deshaun Jackson probably more of a number 3 or a flex. Running back 2 was really set for a while. Isaiah Crowell and Darren Sproles, probably more flexes now. Crowell was playing really well, but now has really kind of come back to earth. And Sproles doesn't really get touchdowns, so he's more of a flex option. Strengths, though, on the team is quarterback. Dalton and Stafford are both starting caliber players. And then at running back 3, he does have that, with Crowell and Sproles. Also, before prior on the Little Big Man, I did forget to mention Emmanuel Sanders as a receiver, too. So he does get a little more depth to mention there. In Rodgers We Trust, needs running back depth. Starting quality players, Theo Riddick, James White, DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray's number 1, Riddick's number 2. Kind of after that, a little questionable. Procise, will the Seahawks actually run the ball? Is James White going to get pushed out the door when Deion Lewis comes in? So he probably could use a little more depth there to feel safe. But he does have tons of depth at receiver. Brandon Marshall, A.J. Green, Randall Cobb, Terrell Pryor, Jarvis Landry, Corey Coleman. Able to move that probably for a running back. Even just an emergency stash type upside guy could help in Rodgers We Trust. Next up on the needs for Team Price is Right, the best team in the league. Could use a better quarterback. Carson Palmer has been disappointing this year. Wide receiver 3 currently at Sammy Watkins, if he comes back, and that's a big if, and John Brown. And John Brown has really not really been too good this year. Maybe he'll be better come after the bye week. Depth, though, he does have running backs. Hightower, Melvin Gordon, David Johnson. The Washington Redskin running backs, Robert Kelly, Matt Jones. So you probably could move someone there for a little better wide receiver 3 or a quarterback. Needs on the Black Dingoes are running back depth. Good starters, Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Stewart, and Bilal Powell is probably a hit-or-miss option. Probably could be a little safer there, but pretty solid team. Depth, he does have some receivers, not really whole top-level receivers. Brandon Cooks has fallen more to number 2. Olsen's probably 3. Fitz is a 2. Sterling Shepard and Gates are probably more 3s and flexes. But he does have a lot of options there. Badgers need a wide receiver 1. DeAndre Hopkins was expected to be that, but he is not. He's been born the way he's played this year has been a 3, but he has the upside of probably a 2. Willie Snead, Golden Tate, Jordan Reed, Mike Wallace, a lot of decent players, but probably could use a number 1 if possible. Granted, it's easier said than done for a lot of these. Depth, though, he does have running backs. Carlos Hyde when healthy, Deion Lewis, lottery ticket, Frank Gore, Le'Veon Bell, Chris Ivory. Packaging one of those, maybe with DeAndre Hopkins, can give him his number 1. Who knows? But that would be something the Badgers could use. Horn Dogs up next. Needs quarterback Eli and Tyrod. Although Tyrod's starting to look a little more consistent, might be a little bit more of a safe option. And maybe Eli will bounce back in the second half. Wide receiver 3. Cole Beasley's been good this year. Des Bryant getting more and more integrated. You'd think he'd slide down a little bit. Jamison Crowder with Deshaun back and Jordan Reed will lose a little value. Not bad, but probably could use a little bit of an upgrade. And at running back, he's got some depth. Latavius Murray, Jeremy Hill, and LeGarrette Blount, probably the starters. Devontae Booker, Yeldon, Ryan Matthews on the bench. Might be okay there to move at least one of them. Final division, we move up to the North Division. The Bucks have a need at wide receiver 1 again. Alshon Jeffrey's been more of a number 2 this year, but yes, with Cutler back, maybe he can move to number 1. Tyrell Williams, and Travis Kelce are all pretty solid as 3s and 2s, but probably could use a little bit more of a high-end receiver. Depth at running back: Doug Martin, Jordan Howard, Matt Forte, Gio Bernard, Todd Gurley. Lots of running backs. Not a ton of superstars there, although all of them have played well at times this year. Probably not Doug Martin, he's been hurt, but upside there when he gets healthy. Next up is the Garbage Men, who need probably a running back, a receiver 3. Edelman, Delaney, and Kenny Britt, probably more of flex options at this point in the year. Edelman just hasn't played well, so you could use some help there. And depth was at quarterback. Luck and Mariota have been top 6 options, I think, each this year. So could always flip one of those for a better receiver. Remember, the Tices a need. There's a few of them. Running back 2, just no depth at all at running back. James Starks, if he comes back, will even get the ball. Packers just seem to want to run the run and shoot now. Needs at receivers, probably receiver 1 again, like a lot of people. Kelvin Benjamin, Stephon Diggs, Marvin Jones, Michael Crabtree, Mohamed Sanu. So there's good depth there. Just not that high-end guy who you can count on week in and week out to produce. And finally, my team needs running back depth. None there, really. Spencer Ware, when healthy, Mark Ingram, solid there. But just Kenneth Dixon, maybe. Dwan Harris, if Hyde's hurt. Alfred Morris, if Ezekiel Elliott gets hurt. But no depth there in case of an injury. I do have depth at receiver 3 in flex with J.J. Nelson, Allen Hurns, Enunwa, and Jordan Matthews. Guys, could play there, but no superstars at that position. So that's our show this week. Kept it relatively short considering we did the Going Deep segment. We'll be back probably in a week or two. So best of luck to everyone, and tune in next time. Thanks for watching.